Hi there guys, welcome to Boxpred. I just want to talk here about my thoughts on why I think that Gennady Golovkin against Miguel Cotto would be a good fight to happen. Now I'm not here to really discuss on the chances of it happening because I feel that they are quite slim at the moment. There's talk of Cotto fighting Alvarez sometime next May, and obviously Golovkin has an interesting fight against Marco Antonio Rubio coming up in October. But you know, these are really my thoughts on why I feel Cotto could be a decent opponent for Golovkin. I know Martinez was over the hill, okay, he's on the slide, he's pretty much past it. I don't think he should box anymore, in fact. But Cotto still looked pretty sharp to me. You know, here's the reasons. First of all, the outside of the ring reason. It's a big fight to be made. Cotto always has a big, he draws spectators to Madison Square Garden. This is where the obvious place to have the fight. Cotto has a massive fan base there, so he pulls in the crowd every time he fights. But also Golovkin is known there now. He's fought there a couple of times, he's built a name there for himself, so people who watch boxing, who go to watch boxing, will definitely come to see this. You know, they won't have any problem making money off this fight. You know, Golovkin is in pretty much everyone's mind the #1 middleweight right now, and this would be a huge fight, absolutely huge I feel. You know, one really, you know, famous fighter in Cotto going up against one of the best fighters pound for pound in Golovkin. So that's why this fight, there couldn't be an excuse by Cotto, because it's pretty much up to him. There couldn't be an excuse by Cotto as to why that he can't make money off a Golovkin fight, because the money is definitely there, in my opinion. Now onto the more important stuff, the in the ring. I'm not saying Cotto would win this fight, okay? In actual fact, I'd probably go with Golovkin to stop Cotto because I think that's the most likely thing to happen. But I think it'd be interesting while it lasted, and here's why. In my opinion, Gennady Golovkin is vulnerable to a good left hand, okay? Cotto has one of the best leading left hands in the business. He's left-handed, fights orthodox. So that's his power hand, really, okay? And I feel that Golovkin may be tailor-made to catch that left hand. It's just something to think about. And like I said, in my opinion, Cotto looked pretty sharp and accurate against Martinez. I know Martinez was not really much of an opponent that night, but I do feel that you can still look at the fighter and see, compared to how you've seen them in the past, whether they look sharp or not. And I feel that Cotto still looks like he has the ability to really do some damage. Also, when we hear a lot of pundits even talking about how to beat Golovkin because of his power, it's pretty much the consensus now that it's about time he fought someone who would actually push him on the back foot, because there are big question marks over Golovkin being able to fight on the back foot, because he's always on the front foot. There's a good reason for that, is because he's bloody good. But, you know, I believe that Cotto is a very good offensive front-footed fighter who could actually has the chance to push Golovkin on the back foot, and then we can see how Golovkin deals with it and how he performs going backwards. Also, if Golovkin's on the front foot, I believe he is open to counters. If you look at his last two stoppages, Golovkin actually gets hit as he hits his opponent. He just comes out on top because of his power, probably because of his technique, better power. But there's a question mark there. He can be countered, particularly with the left hand. What's Cotto's main weapon? His left hand. Okay. Also, Miguel Cotto, I believe, is currently with Freddie Roach. If you're going to go with an offensive trainer, it's Freddie Roach. He's brilliant at bringing the best offensive fighter out of his guys. And I think that that's why Cotto looks so good, because he's got Freddie Roach behind him, who's a master at bringing an offensive game plan. And he's really good at getting his fighters throwing good combinations, just bringing the best out in them offensively, which is what you need against Golovkin. You need someone who's going to go out and be good offensively, not just on the back foot. Now the thing is, Daniel Geale, I quite rate as a pretty slick fighter, a pretty good boxer, but he didn't have power. Okay, so he's instantly on the back foot because he's got no power to hold his own. So he's relying on movement and slickness. If you're going to rely on that, Golovkin will eat you up all day, because he's patient. He'll stalk you, he'll cut off the ring until the moment is right. And it's very difficult to stay away from a guy like that for the full 12 rounds, let alone beat the guy on points. You know, landing your own shots, you've got to take risks. Now I do feel Golovkin would get to Cotto, and eventually, you know, he'd wear Cotto down, or he'd catch him with a shot and it'd be all over. But Cotto's experienced as well. He's been in there with big punches before. He's been in there with, you know, world-class opposition, and he's got experience to take into the ring with him. You know, he's seen pretty much it all before, and this is the type of guy you want Golovkin in with. You know, to test him, to really bring something else out in Golovkin, to show him something he's not seen before. And that's why they're really the reasons, you know, I've thrown through them quite quickly, but they're the reasons why I feel that Miguel Cotto would make a good, solid opponent for Golovkin. And who knows, you know, if Cotto was able to push Golovkin back, we don't know. You know, we know Golovkin has a decent chin. People have been saying he's got a pretty good chin. But we don't know, you know, if Cotto caught him with a good left hand and he buzzes him, how does Golovkin react? You know, what is he like on the other end of the scenario? Or does Golovkin just go on the front foot from the start and show us he really is that cut above, that not even Cotto can live with that? So, you know, they're questions I'd like to see answered, and I feel that, okay, they're throwing Golovkin's name in with Saul Alvarez, they're throwing it in with Chavez Jr. I'm not saying those fights aren't good fights, but what I'm saying is my reasons here why I see the Cotto fight as being a good fight. So let me know what you think, guys. I know a lot of you would say Golovkin would blast him out easy, but if you really look at technically, I feel, in my opinion, if you look at it technically, from a technical standpoint, Cotto actually has the tools to cause some concern for Golovkin, potentially. Let me know what you think. Thanks, guys.